Alright, so this video is about the Virgo parent. So I already have a video about the Virgo child. I have a whole series of videos about the different sign and as a child what that's like, so check those out. So this is more about the parent, which is important if you are a parent or thinking of becoming a parent, because your zodiac sign is going to influence your child in how you interact and what you value versus what they value, how you relate to your child. And so a Virgo parent, and I have experience because I'm a Virgo parent and also my mom is a Virgo. So we're a day apart actually. So I have some understandings of how Virgo parents, how they how they act, how they parent. So the first thing that's interesting about Virgo parents is like this ability to really be perceptive to your needs, right? So Virgo is a sign of service. And so when you put that in the role of parent, now again, I understand people have different relationships with their parents. There are different things at play when it comes to parenting or child rearing. Like these are generalities, right? We're not talking about other things in someone's chart. But there's an understanding of what you need. Remember, this is an earth sign. Virgo is detail oriented. And so Virgo parent might really walk through what their child needs. And they might really be good at tailoring that. You know, in my experience, my mom was always really good at knowing what people liked and being able to like, oh, I know you like this, so I picked this up for you. Like very detail oriented. When a Virgo gives you a gift, it's typically going to be well thought out and also very practical. So a Virgo parent might not spoil you over the top. Now, again, it might depend. My mom is pretty generous when she has it, and if it's someone she cares about. My mom is a Venus in Leo, and so when you think about the way someone loves, it's not always romantic love, right? The way you love, it can also be your children, your immediate relatives, things like that. So my mom is a Virgo with a Venus in Leo. She's the moon in Aquarius. So, Virgo parent tends to, at first, you're going to be really practical. Like, what is it that you need? And they're really good at giving you what they feel you need, what you like. They're really good at knowing your tastes and your likes and your dislikes, things like that. Whereas you might have a different sign parent who just gives their child things because it's nice to look at. But Virgo parent at first is going to make sure your basic needs are taken care of. And so another thing about Virgo parents is they're really good at teaching you structure. Virgo is an earth sign, as I said before. Virgo can teach you structure, also responsibility. Virgo is a sign that is really, all the earth signs really are about responsibility, especially like Capricorn can teach you more how to achieve. Taurus is really good with routine and safety and, having an environment that is safe and that is productive. And Virgo is good at this idea of time in terms of like being on time. Remember, this is Mercury. Mercury in Virgo, it makes it a little bit more nervous than Mercury makes Gemini, with Gemini's curious energy. So Mercury moves fast in general as a planet compared to some other planets. So the Mercury energy in Virgo makes it very much like needing to analyze. And so Virgo needs to do things on time so they can have time to think and analyze. And how does this work? How does this work? Or, showing up on time as a Virgo gives Virgo time to mentally prepare for whatever they're going to do. And so even if you're not a Virgo, your child is not a Virgo or an earth sign, you can teach, especially if your child is an air sign or a fire sign. I have an air sign and a fire sign children, right? One is air, one is air, one is fire. So I already know, one has a moon in the earth sign, so maybe that's very promising. But I will have to teach them how to be, how to care about routine and structure and time, and how to, understand the order of things, because fire and air don't care about order, whereas the Virgo can teach you. Remember, it's analytical, so it's going to teach you how to do things the right way or the order. Virgo is a sign of the perfectionist, and so a Virgo parent can kind of teach their children how to do things this quote unquote right way. Now, for some people that can cause some anxiety, because a Virgo parent can, even Virgo rising parents can be very much about not appearance in a narcissistic way, but like, you need to make sure your clothes are ironed. You need to make sure your hair is done. You need to make sure you did this, do that. Why are you wearing that? Why are you doing that? Like, that can be a Virgo parent. Now, this idea of perfection that they put on their kids, this is not just a Virgo thing. Any sign that is known for a certain trait can project that onto their children. So you do have to be aware of how that can come across, where in your mind as a Virgo parent, you might be saying, well, this is just my way of making sure they're prepared. This is just my way of making sure that they have what they need, right? But at the same time, they might not view it that way. So you do have to like really look at your child's chart and understand what's going on and what's at play. as far as emotions go, you know, and again, it can vary. The Virgo parent is not overly emotional. Now, they will definitely love their children. They definitely will be there for them in very practical ways. When you need them, they are typically there. And you can have different experiences with that based on if you were raised with your parent or not, or whatever your situation is. But for the most part, Virgo parents, if they say they're going to do something, they do it. If they can't do it, they're not going to do it. But Virgo parents are really good, typically, with whatever they say they're going to do, they're going to do it, because Virgo likes to be reliable. And so that's the biggest thing there. And so for some people, they might need an outpour of emotions, and they might feel their parent didn't give them enough if they're Virgo, and they behave that way. But for the most part, the way Virgos show love is through practicality. If you need something, they're going to give you what makes sense. They're not going to, you know, so it's like, you know, a person might complain like, oh, why didn't you buy me a car for my birthday? I'm 17. But a Virgo parent might say, but I saved up for your college, or I helped you get a job at the place you're working at. You know, a Virgo parent's mind is usually going to be on like what makes sense, not extras and things that, you know, are not needed. So that's what you have to understand about the Virgo energy parent, is that there's typically this understanding of the way they show love is through giving you what you need. Being very aware of what their children need, being very aware of what is practical, what's reasonable, what makes sense. You know, and as far as emotions go, you know, it can vary by person to person. Again, it depends on their other signs. If your parents are Virgo, but they have a lot of Leo and Cancer energy, they might be more expressive in how they present or show their love for you. But for the most part, you can tell if a Virgo cares is because of how much effort they put into doing things for you. You know, Virgo can also, you know, when it comes to flaws, you know, sometimes they're very keen and aware of those things. And so sometimes it can come across as criticism to the child. So if you're a Virgo parent, you do kind of want to like lay off sometimes on like all the criticism, because sometimes the Virgo mind, the first thing they think of is like, it's not what's wrong, it's how can I fix this? And I think people have to understand about Virgo energy. It's not always about being critical and perfectionist and stuff, because I don't know about other people. As a Virgo myself, I don't expect anything of people that I don't do myself. I really don't. I think I'm pretty realistic for the most part. But a Virgo parent, when you go out into the world, you're a representation of them. And so Virgos like to instill a lot of morals and how you're going to look, especially if you live like in a small town or something. A Virgo parent might be very much about like, you need to present yourself well because you're representing the family, and, you know, kind of project that on you. And so it's really important, you know, if you're a Virgo parent, to kind of understand and sometimes soften the way Virgo has a good way with words. But when it's criticism, sometimes, you know, there's a need to soften it,